it's very rare that a filmmaker makes a film that's coming right from his heart. Usually it's what works, what's the masala, what's the formula. But if someone makes a film, tells a story, narrates a story, which is coming from his heart, that definitely works. And I'm going to make you meet this one person who's sitting with me, Mr. Nila Madhab Panda, who we fondly call Nila. And he is one person who's always made a film from his heart. Isn't that true, Nila?
It is, because what I believe as this is a story I want to tell now, I just make it. I don't wait for a star to fall in or money to come in. I just go and make it.
But what does your heart tell you? How do you realize, okay, yeah, this is the thing I want to make a film on?
Well, there are a lot of people say that there are films I have made, maybe independent, art house, whatever you call. They said you have made film way ahead of time.
Let me tell you what he's referring to. That is I Am Kalam.
Yeah. Or Kadvi Hawa.
Kadvi Hawa.
Yesterday's Past. So the point was, I always say that my films are very contemporary. It's the time where I see the story and it makes me, it's largely, the kind of background I come from. I come from a very humble background where there was basic thing we were living. I mean, not many in my age group, you would say that they have come from that kind of a background. I come from a very tiny village and I saw this journey. So when you reach here, it's not only your career, money or anything, but there are certain things which disturbs you. As a storyteller, there's one way is you kind of find it fun. Other is something disturbs you and you want to tell. So when something disturbs you and you want to tell, but at the same time, I don't like watching dark film or making dark films. But interestingly, all those darker story, I gave humor. Like I Am Kalam is quite a fun, humorous film. Kadvi Hawa to some extent dark, but it got to be because we're talking about extreme weather conditions, And that was a film came in a time when, after that, 2 years later, people started talking about the whole idea of extreme weather condition, its impact,
Look at it this year. I mean, the floods everywhere and the wildfires, the El Nino, everything.
Everything. Every morning you get to hear this. My last, which was like a silent film, which got national award, Kali Rautito, Yesterday's Past, which is like an apocalyptic film. That world will go underwater. This was 2019 and 20. Now in 3 years down the line, suddenly I saw the front page news that Jakarta is shifting, the capital is shifting.
Yes.
Because the city is going to be submerged underwater. So when that is happening, and you as an artist, what you bring is what is happening around the world, what is happening around you. So that's how you come, make a story. Yes, there's not, like you said, there's not much of taker, a funder, a supporter.
No, but that's also not true. I think, let's rewind back a little bit. So, you could have guessed from what we are speaking, he only makes movies which have a heart, which have a reason. He made I Am Kalam about children's education. It was a huge hit. Not only was it a huge hit, I remember, if you look at Anna's movement at that time, they adopted that I Am Kalam. Right. You remember they started wearing those I Am Anna?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Well, when your artwork get popularized and people take it in right sense, it of course makes you feel happy that my effort has now, end of the day, what? I mean, as a maker, you wanted audience to watch. And I see bigger than that it should impact.
Yeah.
So it also later in 2 years, it also impact in the government of India's whole education policy, right to education policy. It came, UNESCO, I think, had taken the film and spread around the world. I mean, UNESCO and some other organizations also. So it is beyond, when you make a good piece of work, it is beyond theater and television. That's what I say.
That's true. Even if you've not seen the film, I bet at least 2 out of 3 people would know I Am Kalam, the phrase. I think you managed to put that on people's, lips. So anyway, the trail of thought that I was following was that you've always made the issue contemporary at that point of time. So you picked up each issue and, as you said, a little bit before when the conversation needed to happen. But what made you shift to this Cli-fi? What is Cli-fi and how did you get into this?
Like I said, everything is, for an artist, it's all about you. And for me, reading a book or seeing a film, that doesn't influence me much. As what influenced me more is what I live, what I see through. Okay, like I said, just 4 decades back, everything was perfect. The air, water, food, everything was
But
perfect.
did it affect you personally, or is it just an intellectual talk that you and I are having?
I'm too far from intellectual talk because I am too real, probably, which could be a problem, But it affect me. I mean, to the extent, the first effect personally is see the events happening in Orissa. In last 15 years, there are 8 or 9 cyclones. So the frequency and the effect of cyclones is density is much more. See the events happening around the world. See both. One side is water crisis, one side is a lot of water. Okay, smaller thing. My son was 8, 9 years old. Okay, and he was really running well. Delhi winter, the doctor said your child will have extreme bad health conditions. So I had to stop his life conditions because of the Delhi pollution. Okay. So it is so slowly what I saw that everything from a need based world, what I had lived to where I lived in Delhi, New York, London, is more than need. We started looking at luxury, fantasy, live in a much more bigger world, which becomes greed for you. That greed, when you move on, we don't realize what we have done in the past. And that started haunting you, which is why we say in this series is called that greed becomes curse. And the impact of curse, what we are facing today. So the series tells you clearly the Jengaburu Curse is just a name, okay? Jengaburu means it's about a mountain, red hill. It could be Mumbai curse, it could be Delhi curse, it could be London curse. So this curse, this phenomena will grow by the day. Unless we somehow realize and stop it somewhere. Stop. I mean, you can't undo. But I thought, why would I? There was no genre. I don't know if anybody has done a Cli-fi genre,
In India, no.
Yeah, India to certainly not.
Because earlier I remember, you remember Waterworld was made by that
way
handsome
back.
actor. I was a big fan. Dancing in with Wolves wala actor.
Right.
Like, it was really long time back. But that didn't work at that time.
No.
It was a huge flop. So for you to bring that same issue again, I think it's
Yeah, because
tremendous.
I feel so my series is very simple and it's much more real, which is why I wanted to make it, and it's dark also, because the reason I made it dark is there are a lot of real events which happen around the world in different parts of the world.
Okay.
Whether Myanmar, North Korea, London, because my story is connected from a tribal area in Odisha to London Stock Exchange to Myanmar.
Yeah,
to
I saw that
North
in the
Korea.
trailer.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, it's
so that you will see on the first, the trailer is coming. After the teaser, it will give a story sense now. Okay. But idea is to tell a story to people that we are not far from reality, and that reality is so good. It's not a Hollywood fantasy film. It's not a big budgeted studio film. But I made it look like a big budgeted one because the reality is so cruel, so good to see. It's right here. And we do that every day.
But we don't want to see it. We just saw one of the biggest Hollywood faces making a movie called Don't Look Up. The whole idea, again, is that Cli-fi, this is a new word for me. I picked it up from your Instagram. I was really intrigued by it. But tell me one thing. You have an extremely good body of work. You've done so much good work. You've raised the right issue. Your conscience is clear. वो जिसे कहते हैं ना कि ज़मीन नहीं बेचा है. Lekin, did you ever, when you made I Am Kalam, when you were doing so well and you had all these people chasing you, didn't you just feel कि यार मैं भी बनाता हूँ एक Bollywood film? If you remember, once we even talked about, I'll do an item number for you. Remember? तो कभी मन में नहीं आया that let's make a Bollywood film?
हाँ, मतलब that at a young age, it's fun to think about it, but to make a film, I did one also, but it still did not go in that way.
Yeah. There was still issue of AIDS that you had raised up, safe sex.
My concern was I can't divert my storytelling because of loads of money or a big star cast. I wanted to be me, because unless as a creator, if you are not there, the film cannot work. So I think it was a deliberate choice, and I deliberately did not move to Bombay, so that I felt that a lot of people influenced me to do that. So I took that precaution to sit in Delhi and make films also. So now, of course, I said I'm much more matured. I can do anything now,
Now you're not in impressionable age.
Yeah.
मैं वही करूँगा जो मेरा मन कहेगा.
Exactly.
That is there. But ठीक है, that dance number is still due on
It's
you.
still due.
So
Cli-fi.
Cli-fi, that's a good idea. But Jengaburu case, tell us, where did this idea come from? Is it deeply rooted in Odisha? Did you see something in Odisha, experience something which you want to put out to world, or you say that this is a template that can be applicable to many parts?
Exactly, it's a template, and originally this was a story when I was in London around 2007-8, and there was a story from Africa which I was chasing,
okay.
And it was a whistleblowing case. Okay, a whistleblower in London who was digging out this case. Ideally, this would have been set up there. So it's a fictional story, but the idea of the case can be Goa, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Uganda, anywhere. What is happening to this
human
world?
greed is universal.
Greed. Yeah,
it's universal,
and all over the world natives are in problem. So what is it? It's based on a very tiny thing. It's based on a legend. Okay, that this for millions of years this tribal believes that this hill is our god. So they call Bondri Raja. So Raja means for them it's a god, and nobody should disturb that. The theory was the day you disturb, the world will collapse. Okay, it's a very simple thing, and which is the true all over the world. Where does this legend comes from? Legend comes from truth. They knew that there is rare earth material there, and rare earth has certain connection to your ecosystem, be it providing water, feeding water to the rivers, or giving trees, air, food, whatever. Now all we need, one corporate comes one day and say that this is mine. So all those millions of years of belief and ecosystem, he comes and says that this is mine. And it's also not only the billionaire or the corporate, I'm saying we all, because we all need luxury. I mean, today where we are sitting, if we talk against mining, we can't justify that.
Yeah.
It all comes from mining.
Yes. That is where somewhere a balance has to be struck. And, like you realize that for development, यहाँ तक मैं जाऊंगा और इस लाइन को छू के वापस आ जाऊंगा.
Exactly.
Here I would like to put in that there is this law which is coming in. It's about dilution of certain forest area for development and strategic things. So, when I read something like that and I say, oh, अच्छा, अब इस चीज के लिए यहाँ सड़क बनानी है, यहाँ ये परियोजना बनानी है, तो ठीक है, चलो ये कट रहा है तो शायद कहीं ना कहीं सही है. But that is a very important issue that you raised, that we are also sitting here and we are also, while espousing this, I am also guilty as much as the people who are doing it.
But it should be need based. That human needs this much. Your greed can be unstoppable.
That's why it's called greed.
Yeah.
There is
so
no end
today, where we are concerned about extreme weather conditions, temperature rise, sea level rise, and you want to go and find water in Mars. What kind of logic are you giving me? I mean, I'm happy science is developing, but how many people, if you find water...
Just think about it. Bringing water from Mars to here, not that they're planning to, but I'm just thinking, like...
And if you find water, how many people are you going to take?
Settling down people over there, it's just ridiculous. The idea of colonizing Mars, or for that matter, even Moon or anything, that's just ridiculous. Or finding a new place with Earth conditions and then colonizing it.
Exactly.
Another Cli-fi movie. See, I've given you an idea. Lastly, I wanted to ask you one thing. All these years I've seen your work, and I would say that one thing you've managed to do is find talent. People will not, I don't know if somebody's told you this or not, but I'll say that to you. You have found talent that has later on grown to become big name in Bollywood as well. People you worked with who have shown extreme talent in your films and have done so well. So how do you find out? Of course, you have budget restrictions. That's why you don't get the stars, but they become stars there. But how do you find out that this person has the right talent for right work? And with children also, you've done that. Yeah. Both your child actors were brilliant. Just brilliant. Jalpari and also I Am Kalam.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I think it's a very simple factor. It's when you make a story, it's like your own baby. So you know the right choices for your baby. Okay. So when you write characters, you know what fits into your story. Okay, and of course those were small films. For these it was like a big series, so we had to go through casting process with Mukesh Chabra. Nevertheless, I find casting is a very interesting process because somebody writes a story and you find the right characters as a tough job. So casting was something like a children thing you asked me. It was a tough job for me to find the right Chotu. I am Kalam ka Chotu.
I had interviewed him also. You remember that? Brilliant boy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's like you find the right choice for your baby.
And you feel it somewhere when you meet that, like you must be going through the process of seeing God knows how many people at one time for a character.
Yeah.
Then how do you decide? You feel it somewhere?
For Chotu, I did a journey from Delhi to Jaipur to Bikaner to Jaisalmer.
And then
I wanted to find a Dhaba child, real child, and it was like madness, 15-20 days. And then suddenly बाबा छोटू वाहन होके आ गए गौतम नगर ऑफिस में.
Well, this is quite interesting. This is one thing I actually felt that I should say to you, because we've seen some of the actors like Radhika Apte. I saw in your film. This was way back in
14. Yeah.
She was not a big. I don't know Hunter had come out or not.
No.
Hunter had not come out. You had cast her. We saw her. We thought she was a brilliant actress. And then lo and behold, Hunter comes out. She's a big star now.
She's a big star.
But why not go back to some of the old stars and work with them?
No, I would love to. It's basically, so when they fit into a character, you would always like to do that. Like,
ये लॉजिक फिर सिर्फ दूसरी जगह पे नहीं चलता. दूसरी जगह पे स्टार देख लिया जाता है और उसके बाद
ऐसा नहीं है.
So you are telling me you will not go back to the people you worked as young people. अगर मेरे कैरेक्टर में फिट होगा, ये सही है.
वो तो होगा कभी ना कभी होगा.
Chalo, we hope to see you with some of those old faces, and we hope to see Jengaburu Curse.
Yeah.
If you could just tell our viewers when it's releasing and when should we look forward.
Well, the Jengaburu Curse, as we are claiming India's fast Cli-fi, it's a 7-episode series thriller coming on SonyLiv on 9th of August. Also, wait for the trailer, which is launching on the 1st of August. We'll have more fun looking at the trailer because it's a different world, different landscapes. Odisha probably has never been seen that way in mainstream cinema. So you altogether going to see a culture which probably have never seen in cinemas in India.
Yeah, please do watch it. And very soon, I'm hoping that some of the ideas that I've pitched to Nila will also become reality. So I'll quit my India Today job and I'll work for you, Nila. Okay? But you keep watching India Today, and thank you for watching.